Tyler Jones here on Ravens Rundown as we bring you my final projection for your Baltimore Ravens depth chart heading into Week 1 against the Houston Texans. We're going to go piece by piece and show you who we believe are going to be the starters for the Ravens when they take the field on Sunday against Houston. Before we get to that, though, if you want the Ravens to beat the Texans, I need you to spam W in the comments section. Don't jinx it, just do it. Believe me, trust me. Spam W in the comments section. We'll continue with today's show. Let's begin with the quarterback position. Lamar Jackson expected to be the starting quarterback, obviously, for the Baltimore Ravens. The big question is, who is number 2? And Tyler Huntley appears to have that edge, but with the injury, there's some uncertainty. Could Josh Johnson be that guy? But at least for now, Tyler Huntley appears to have that edge to be QB number 2. The backfield for the Ravens includes J.K. Dobbins as your lead back. He lost that job for a short period of time over the preseason when he was holding in and wasn't active in activities with the Ravens, but ultimately he'll get the brunt of the carries for Baltimore. Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Patrick Ricard also in that backfield of note as well. Keaton Mitchell, the UDFA that made the roster out of East Carolina, he'll begin the year on PUP. So he's technically not on the depth chart for now. Which J.K. Dobbins will we see for the Baltimore Ravens? That is the million-dollar question I think everybody wants to know heading into 2023. If the Ravens get the same J.K. Dobbins they saw at the end of last year, then they're going to be in great shape. And there's a lot of reason to be excited about what he could potentially do if he plays like that running back we saw last year. But we've also seen the bad with J.K. Dobbins, where he hasn't been able to stay healthy and be consistent. Last year was a roller coaster, right? But the way he finished was a whole different beast. The yards per carry has always been good with J.K. Dobbins. 6 yards per carry in 2020, 5.7 in 2022. But he needs to stay healthy and stay consistent. If he can do those things, then watch out. The Ravens could have a nice season with J.K. Dobbins. Even with all the contract stuff going on, it'll be intriguing to see what he can do with this Ravens offense. Do you believe in J.K. Dobbins? Are you a believer in J.K.? If so, type B for believe. If not, type D for don't. Let me know what you feel one way or the other. Be honest with me about J.K. Dobbins. B for believe, D for don't. How do you feel about J.K. Dobbins? Let us know in the comment section. To the wide receiver position we go. And this group, I got to tell you, is just loaded. OBJ, your top target for now, along with Rashod Bateman and Zay Flowers. But I have said this before, and I will continue to reiterate. I think by season's end, Zay Flowers works his way up the depth chart, and he's going to be your wide receiver 1 when it's all said and done. The depth chart may look like it does now, but Zay Flowers is going to change that. He's going to lead this team in receiving in 2023. And we've seen a terrific offseason from Zay Flowers, nicknamed Joystick by Lamar Jackson. In just the limited, small sample size we saw of Zay Flowers in the preseason, he was incredible. 2 catches, 37 yards, and a touchdown. Was widely viewed as the MVP of Ravens training camp. The only way that he could be stopped, whether it was by Ravens defenders in practice or in the preseason, was if he was being interfered or held. That's the only way he could be slowed down. Look out for Zay Flowers. He's going to be spectacular in 2023. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code CHAT125. You will get a 125% deposit bonus. Put $100 down. You get $125 to spend for free at chatsports.com/bet with that promo code CHAT125. Odds for this weekend's matchup, the Ravens, 10-point favorites. Over under 43.5. Get your bets in on your Ravens now, as well as other National Football League action this weekend. College football, want to bet on Maryland? Maybe you want to bet on some baseball with the Baltimore Orioles. Whatever you're feeling, get your bets in today. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code CHAT125. The tight end position, Mark Andrews. Hopefully he plays this week. He is supposed to return to practice today, according to John Harbaugh. Isaiah Likely, the number 2 tight end, coming off a strong rookie campaign. And then there's Charlie Kolar, who had a breakout session in the preseason. And I got to tell you, now is the time to be buying stock in Charlie Kolar. I'm convinced that this is the best tight end room in the National Football League, not just because of Andrews and Likely and how good we already know those two are, but what Charlie Kolar brings to the table. You are getting a Kirkland brand Mark Andrews, essentially, with Charlie Kolar. Carbon copy. He plays just like Mark Andrews, looks like him, does everything similar to Mark Andrews. In the preseason, he was great. 15 yards of reception, 120 total yards, 8 catches. Charlie Kolar, more of that. Missed most of last year with that sports hernia, but I'm telling you, Charlie Kolar is going to have a big year in 2023. Will Charlie Kolar have a breakout season? Do you agree with me? If you do, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. Let me know what you're feeling. Y for yes, in for no on Charlie Kolar in 2023. We wrap up the offense with the offensive line, and this should be a very good group for the Baltimore Ravens. Ronnie Stanley at left tackle, John Simpson at left guard, Tyler Linderbaum at center, Zietler and Morgan Moses holding things down at the right tackle spot. John Simpson ultimately winning the left guard competition there. Ben Cleveland was supposed to be contending for that left guard spot, ultimately got beat out, and now he's the backup right guard. To the defense we go. Justin Matabuke at starting left end with Broderick Washington on the opposite side. Michael Pierce at nose tackle as they have a tall task ahead of them to replace the production of Calais Campbell, who has since moved on with the Atlanta Falcons now. We'll see what these guys can do going forward for the Baltimore Ravens. Don't miss out. Coming up on Sunday, we are going to be live for our Ravens versus Texans watch party here on Ravens Rundown. Myself, Tyler Smith-Smitty, going to be in the house with you. We will get things started at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time, live here on the channel for game number 1. We're going to be having ourselves a grand old time. Super chats, drinks in hand. You will not want to miss it. Come hang out with us. Let's root on the Ravens, get a Ravens win on Sunday. Coverage begins 12:30 Eastern, live right here on Ravens Rundown. The linebacker position, Odafe Oweh and David Ojabo on the outside, Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen on the inside for the Baltimore Ravens, and that is going to be a fun group to watch. But notice, Billy, something to watch for is Trenton Simpson. And there was a hope by some that Trenton Simpson would come along and be ready to go and potentially be good enough to be a starter so you could move on from Patrick Queen, try to get some trade capital for him, and to not have to extend Patrick Queen. Ultimately, what we found out in the preseason was Trenton Simpson was very raw, that he wasn't ready. He's still adapting to the NFL game, and that's okay. These things take time, and it was very clear the Ravens needed to keep Patrick Queen around at least for this year and let Trenton Simpson develop. And we told you this for weeks on end. CBS Sports had this to say, describing the situation with Trenton Simpson. Simpson and his elite speed are fully inaccurate when he's a movable blitzer and an attacker of outside runs. The coverage could take time to round into acceptable form. Simpson will be useful before that occurs because of his explosiveness. So watch out for Trenton Simpson. We'll see how long it takes for him to get going. What's your confidence level on Trenton Simpson right now? Young guy, going to take time, obviously. Scale it for me 1 through 10 in the comments section, what your confidence level is, and let me know. To the secondary room for the Ravens, Ronald Darby will get the start for Baltimore outside corner, with Marlon Humphrey likely not playing this week and potentially next week as well. Rock Ya-Sin on the other side, Darius Washington at nickelback, Hamilton and Williams at the safety spots, and it's really just by committee, next man up when it comes to those corner positions for now, with as much injuries there have been. The group is very thin at corner right now, but what I'm looking for is the safeties for Kyle Hamilton, for Marcus Williams, those guys to kind of cover up for the mistakes that we're going to see from the corner room. And it's no secret, last year the Ravens really struggled in pass coverage. The one thing I will say, something to watch for, we told you in yesterday's video, the scouting report in C.J. Stroud is that he kind of underestimates safeties, right, and their abilities. Watch out this weekend to see what Marcus Williams and what Kyle Hamilton could do to kind of cover for the lack at the corner position in that secondary. John Harbaugh described Kyle Hamilton's role recently, saying he is not going to be a nickel per se. He'll be a safety. A traditional safety role is probably not in our defense because we move our guys around. Our safeties are rushing the passer. They're playing linebacker. They're running on the line of scrimmage back to the deep of the middle. So there you have it. Now that we know what these starters will likely be this weekend in the Ravens depth chart heading into Sunday, how would you grade the Ravens depth chart? Give me a grade, A, B, C, D, or F, and let us know in the comment section what your grade is for Baltimore heading into Sunday. Subscribe to the channel for everyday coverage of your Baltimore Ravens. We get you covered as we're talking about this team each and every day here on the Ravens Rundown. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.